Since all of us are here, let us start with a prayer with Gayatri Mantra. Please repeat after me. Om Bhurbhuvaswaha
Bhuvaswaha
Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Okay, so we welcome our guest for the day. Hello all, I am Sahiti from the iLead group. I am one of the coordinators for today's program. On behalf of our iLead Speakers Forum Club, it gives me great pleasure to invite and introduce Sri Prabhuji, who is our guest for today's program. As you know, Sri Prabhuji is the founder of Light of the Self Foundation and also the program director of iLead Youth Leadership course and many other such courses related to spirituality. He is an MTech graduate from IIT Bombay with more than 35 plus years of experience in the field of telecommunications. He has worked in many multinational firms in the top management. Sri Prabhuji has dedicated his life to teaching spirituality and guiding children on the path of value-based leadership. On behalf of all iLeads, I thank Sri Prabhuji for his time and support and guidance. Thank you. Okay, so let me just read out the rules for speakers training session. You should start your speech only when your name is called by the moderator. You have to speak for exactly 3 minutes. When someone is giving the speech, all the other participants should be on mute. If you unmute and disturb others, your marks will be cut. Keep your cameras on till the session ends. We will cut marks if you switch off your video camera. Please type in the chat box only if you have any important questions. No typing of hi, hello, etc. Please show respect to the person who is speaking and listen attentively. You can learn a lot of new things. If anyone is absent, we will call the next person in the list and they will speak. If the person joins later, he or she should wait for their turn. You are not supposed to leave the meeting after your speech is over. You should stay till the end, till the session ends. At the end, Prabhuji will give the feedback. Marks will be shared with you later. Now let me tell you the topic for Balakrishnas. The topic is inspiring message of Swami Vivekananda for youth on occasion of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti on 12th January. I Love India on occasion of Republic Day. Story of Bhagavan Dattatreya on occasion of Dattatreya Jayanti, which was on 29 December. And if the minimum time limit for you to speak is 3 minutes. So I have a list here and I'm going to call your names according to the list. First,
can you request the name of the children to reflect their actual screen name should reflect their name?
Yeah, okay.
Can you please make your screen name as same as your name so that we are not confused?
First, we have Arnav Ravikumar. Start.
Yeah. Hari Om. I am Arnav and I am going to talk about Swami Vivekananda on his 12th January. On his birthday, a National Youth Day is observed in India, commemorate the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, the young spiritual leader who is credited with the spreading the essence of India, spirituality to the Western world had immense faith in the power of the youth of India. Swami Vivekananda is the ideal role model for the youth. He motivated that the youth to be strong today in mind and spirit, and he strongly advocated that their role. In the nation building, he envisioned India as a country with energetic young people who will shape up a modern nation and base. Swamiji was again amazingly too close model radical views of education reforms when he said you can't teach a child any more than you can grow a plant and the plant develops its own nature. The Swami Vivekananda once said that whatever you think that you will be. If you think yourself weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be. He also said, see for the highest, aim at the highest, and you shall reach the highest. His message was simple yet powerful. Vivekananda conveyed his ideas directly to the people, especially to the youth. That, thank you all for giving me a chance to talk. Hari Om.
Okay, we request Guruji to give his feedback. Guruji, your audio is mute.
So very good, Arnav. I'm going to give you feedback on your private window, chat window, okay?
Next, we have Vaibhavi Sridhara. Is she here? Is she here?
I'm here. Namaste all Atma Jyotis and my friends. My name is Vaibhavi Sridhara from Balakrishna batch. Today I'm going to talk about the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a Hindu monk. Swami Vivekananda was a spiritual leader. He is more than a spiritual leader. He is an orator. Swami Vivekananda said that we should have faith in ourselves and faith in God. It's the only way of secret of greatness. According to me, Swami Vivekananda is the reason for the awakening and reckoning of our culture, pride, religion, and the integrity towards our country. He told that patience, purity, and perseverance is the only way to success, and it removes all the obstacles in life. He told that we are what our thoughts have made us. So be careful on what you think. You don't know where it can lead you. Thank you.
Very good, Vaibhavi. Well done. I'll send you feedback on your private window, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, next we have Mayank Bhatt. Is he here?
Yes. Hari Om. My name is Mayank Bhatt from Balakrishna batch. Today I am going to talk about Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda fostered encouragement in youth so much so that the whole nation celebrated his birth anniversary as National Youth Day on January 12th. He made the slogan, "Arise, arise, awake, stop not till you have reached your goal." He sent a message to the youth when he was in Osaka that be human. He encouraged the youth to engage yourself in serving humanity. He wanted the youth to have muscles like iron and nerves like steel. He made 2 slogans: take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. Thank you. Hari Om.
Very good, Mayank. You spoke very good. You spoke very well. I'll send a feedback to you on your private window.
Okay, next we have Samanvi. Is she here?
Hari Om. Pranams to all Atma Jyotis. I am Samanvi from Balakrishna batch. Today I am telling about inspiring messages of Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda was born on 12th Jan 1863 in Calcutta. His name was Narendranath Datta. His guru was Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was popular after giving lectures in many places around the world. He gave inspiring messages to the youth, so his birthday is celebrated as the Youth Day. Now I'll say some inspiring messages from Swami Vivekananda. You cannot believe in God until you believe in yourselves. Arise, awake, and stop not until your goal is reached. The greatest sin is to think you weak. The conflict between heart and your brain, follow your heart. Take a risk in your life. If you win, you lead. If you lose, you guide. Talk to yourself once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. Be a hero. Always say, I have no fear. If you challenge a person, you will lose one day. If you challenge yourselves, you will win every day. Your beliefs do not make you a better person. Your behavior does. Let the heart open first, and all else will follow itself. Never allow weakness to enter your mind. Every second is a chance to turn your life around. Hari Om.
Very good, Samanvika. You spoke very nicely. Wonderful. I'll send a feedback to you on your private window. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, next we have Arush.
Pranam to all Atma Jyotis. My name is Arush Shetty. Today I am going to share a story of the birth of Guru Dattatreya. Guru Dattatreya was the son of Atri Rishi and mother Anasuya. Atri Rishi was the son of Brahma. He practiced severe penance and attained Brahma Jnana. he married Anasuya. Anasuya was a pativrata and worshipped her husband and considered him as God. Anasuya's fame and glory spread all over the three worlds. Knowing her greatness, Lord Indra and others feared that they might lose their supremacy. And they went to the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, and requested to arrest the increasing power and greatness of Anasuya. The three gods agreed and transformed into mendicants and begged in front of Atri Rishi's ashram. At that time, Rishi had gone to offer his daily prayers in the river. Anasuya welcomed them. She washed their feet and worshipped them. The guests became impatient and they demanded to serve the food immediately and cannot wait till Atri Rishi comes back. Anasuya invited them to the dining center and was about to serve food when the guests made an unusual request. They told that we cannot accept food if you are dressed. You should disrobe yourself and serve us, or else we will not take the food. She thought for a while, and my mind is pure. She agreed to the request and went to the kitchen. She meditated and prayed at the holy feet of her husband in her motherly feeling. By that time, the three guests were transformed into infants. She happily fed them. When Atri Rishi returned home, he found Anasuya fondling three-born new babies. Atri went into a trance and recognized the babies as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. He greeted them with folded hands. After witnessing the devotion and purity, the gods requested the couple to ask a boon. They asked for a baby. Soon the three babies transformed into one baby with three heads. Anasuya, filled with joy, named the baby Dattatreya. Moral: follow your instincts and follow your heart. Hari Om. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Sai Kriti.
Very nice. Arush spoke very well and the story was very nice.
Sai Kriti, is she here?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, moving on to the next participant. Meeral. Is Meeral here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hari Om. I am telling the story of Guru Dattatreya. Once upon a time, many years ago, there was Rishi Atri. He and his wife Anusya. Anusya was very devotive of his husband. And then Sage Atri was the son of Lord Brahma with Narada. Narada was son of Brahma also.
Narada was roaming around the universe. Then he saw that on the instant on the earth. He saw Anusuya's devotion. He immediately went to the loka of Devis and tell the news to Mother Saraswati, Mother Lakshmi, and Parvati. And Mother Lakshmi, Mother Parvati, and Mother Saraswati will get jealous and ask to their husbands. Then Lord Vishnu, Brahma, and Lord Shiva will come down to earth in a form of 3 Brahmins to Anasuya's house. Then Anasuya asks, "What do you want?" Then the 3 Brahmins will tell, "We are so hungry." Then she will invite to their house and wash their hands and feet, and she will tell to sit down and I will come to serve. Then she comes to serve and the Brahmins will refuse to eat. They will put on a condition to eat. If you serve us, you should serve us unrest. No means we will not eat your food. Then Anasuya runs to kitchen and she prays and meditates to God. Then with her power, she made the 3 Brahmins as 3 little babies. Then she will feed them with milk and food. In the same time, before the Brahmins were coming to home, Sage Atri was gone to river for his daily prayers. When after the feeding, Sage Atri came back, and he is surprised to see that with his powers he will guess that the 3 babies were none other than Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Then God will get very impressed and ask for a boom. Then they will say, "We want a baby." Then the 3 babies will march to a baby and they named him as a Dattatreya. Dattatreya means given. Atreya means given to Sage Atri. Dattatreya means given to Sage Atri. And Dattatreya has 3 heads and 6 hands. And in 6 hands, Dattatreya was holding Shanku, Chakra, Trishula, Damaruk, Japmal, and Kamandal. Hari Om. Thank you.
Very good, Nirul. You spoke very well. Okay. Try to look into camera straight when you talk. Okay.
Okay, next we have Hamsa Bhatt.
Hello, Hari Om everyone. My name is Hamsa Bhatt. I will talk about India. As Mark Twain aptly said, India is a cradle of human race. India is special and diverse in many aspects, such as climate, food, religion, landscapes, culture, dance, and art forms. We have different landscapes, islands, volcanoes, deserts. We also have a coastal line of 7,000 kilometer, biggest peninsula in the world. We have 12 major harbors. We have tea and coffee plantations in north, east, and south. Most importantly, we have the mighty Himalayas, make us feel very proud. We also have a cold desert in Ladakh, the famous Ganga River, Indian rhinos, the longest metro in Delhi, famous hand-carved Ajanta and Ellora caves. The list is endless. The Jain temple in Mount Abu is another terrific and huge marvel. India is home to many religions and classical forms, dancing, music, and language. Do you know Sanskritam is the mother of many languages? Yoga and Ayurveda are also born in India. The whole world celebrates yoga on Yoga Day. We made the world look at us by our moon and Mars mission. We are the second largest producers of steel and cement, and the mobile phone manufacturing. We, we cultivate highest produce of vegetables, fruits, tea, and silk. Third in coal, fourth in iron ore. We are the world's largest diamond cutting and polishing center, largest manufacturer of two-wheelers and tractors. We are known as the pharmacy of the world, largest provider of generic drugs. Globally, we have so many features which makes our country great. It is as much important to preserve these incredible things. Thank you.
Yes, Hamsa, you did very well. You spoke very well. Okay. You should conclude with some sentence. Conclude with some message. What is the message you want to say?
Sir, the message I wanted to say is we should never think our country or something is bad by the people in it.
Use a positive word. You think I love my country. I am great. My country is great. Okay. You spoke very well. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Next, we have Kritik Krishna.
Yes. Okay, let me start. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. My name is Kritik Krishna, and I have taken the topic Vivekananda's message to youth. Vivekananda was a monk, an excellent orator, and a lifelong karma yogi who dedicated each and every second of his adult life for the country. His life mission was to see India a great country. He told that not to believe, he told to only believe in one religion, that is fearlessness. And there is nothing better than having good friends. Good friends means good person. Good. Here, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of what you think. This means whatever you think will happen. When you need help, help is within us. I can just give you a simple example. Whatever happened just now, like I couldn't do it. So this is one example which I could have give. Let me tell you a story. About Swami Vivekananda's fearlessness. One day, 8-year-old Swami Vivekananda was hanging on a champak tree when an old grandfather came and told this sentence: Do not hang on that tree again, or else you will break your neck. The grandfather told this sentence because he didn't want Swami Vivekananda to break his arms. Swami Vivekananda, the 8-year-old boy, did not agree to what the grandfather told, that there is if you swing on this tree, if you swing on this champak tree another time, you will break your neck. Soon the grandfather left. His friends were also scared that if he would swing again and he would break his neck. His friends told him. Swami Vivekananda laughed and told that, you silly fellows, if the ghost, if that would be correct, then I would have broke my neck till right now. The moral of the story is, do not just believe whatever people say. Think and believe what people say. Thank you.
Very good, Pratik. You spoke very well and you concluded the moral of the story also. And also in between, whatever you give your own example to correct correct a small mistake. Okay, very good.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, we have Anirudh. Do we have Anirudh here? Okay. Dhruti Gupta. Prajwal. Is she here? Sanvi Karthik. Siddhant Adarsh Aragam.
Okay, ma'am. I'll start. Namaste. I'm Siddhant Adarsh Argam. I'm going to talk about the inspiring message of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is the greatest youth icon produced by India who inspired millions of youth by his words and deeds. He believed in building a stronger nation true to its roots by reviving its true nature, that is spirituality, sacrifice, and selfless service. This could be achieved by collective energy of the youth with higher ideals and goals. With higher ideals and goals, the youth should develop nerves of steel, muscles of iron, and minds like thunderbolts. A meaningful life that inspires the heart, liberates the mind, and ignites the soul could be achieved when the youth becomes physically and mentally fit. Be fearless. Power is within you. Believe in that and you can do anything and everything. Strength is life and weakness is death. So stand up and express the divinity within you is always what Swami Vivekananda spoke. Swami Vivekananda had immense faith in the youth of the nation. The youth should undertake social activities for the betterment of the society. He advised the youth to serve God and man. The first God we have to worship are our countrymen. He emphasized on education for all. Education is not the amount of information that goes in our brain undigested. For him, education meant a process of learning that built character and instilled human values in youth. Thank you. Hari Om.
Very good, Siddharth. You spoke very well and your voice also is very, very powerful. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have S. Sai Kriti. Is she here?
Yes, I am here.
You can start.
Hari Om, I'm Kriti from Balakrishna Group. Today, I'm going to tell you the birth of Dattatreya. There is a sage named Sage Atri and his wife is Anusuya. They are living in the Chitrakuta forest and Anusuya is known as the Pativrata and she is known all over the universe. Since she is known all over the universe, the divine trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva decided to bless her and her blessing was whatever she wishes shall become true. When the divine trinity's wife
known this, Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati, when they had known this, they got jealous of Anasuya and had went to their husbands and asked, why don't you check Anasuya's loyalty? They said, and the Divine Trinity said, okay, we shall check Anasuya's loyalty. They said that, and the Divine Trinity had shape-shifted into old sages and had went to earth and went to Anusuya's house and pretended that they were hungry. Then they knocked on the door and called, Amma, are you in there? They called out, and then Anusuya opened the door and saw 3 hungry sages. And Anusuya said, welcome, old sages. Please come into my house. She welcomed them. She washed their hands and their feet. Then she asked the sages, why did you come to my house? The 3 sages said, we are so hungry. Can you feed us? They said. And then Anusuya went into the kitchen and started to prepare the food for them. And then when Anusuya came back with the food, one of the sages said, we can't have any food who is dressed in clothes. We have a vow that we should obey. We can only eat food when the person who is serving us is undressed. One of the sages said that, and Anusuya thought, how can I serve these 3 adults, these 3 sages without wearing clothes? She thought, and then after some time, she went into the kitchen and prayed to her husband, Sage Atri. After that, she thought, I will feed these sages like they are my babies. So she went out of the kitchen and then she fed. There she saw 3 crying babies and she fed the babies. After some time, Sage Atri returned from his prayers and he quickly recognized that they were the Divine Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Then, when he said that, the Divine Trinity had become in their regular self. And now, the 3 gods have checked Anusuya's loyalty and has known that Anusuya is really kind and nice. So the Divine Trinity had decided to give them a boon. And the couple said a baby. So the 3 babies merged together to form one baby. And they named the baby Dattatreya. So this is the birth of Dattatreya. Hari Om.
Very good, Sai Kriti. You spoke very well. Very nice. I am going to send you feedback on your private window. Okay.
Next, we have Amog Nayak.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sanchita Vinay. Are you here? Okay, Sanvika Mahesh.
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, all. My name is Sanvika Mahesh.
Today, I would like to speak about Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a renowned writer, scholar, saint, and philosopher of contemporary India. He was born on Jan 12, 1863 as Narendranath Datta. He was born to Vishwanath Datta and Bhuneshwari Devi. Both the parents were learned and helped him to shape his character as a child. Narendranath was a beautiful singer. One day, while he was singing, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa heard him and interacted with him. Soon, Narendranath became a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He learned that one can experience God by serving humanity. With this, he established the Ramakrishna Mission and offered voluntary service to the poor and needy people. Soon, Narendranath became a monk and was called Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda explained to the world that God is one big sea. All the religions are rivers which are ultimately merging into one big sea. Swami Vivekananda said that education provides a better standard of life to society. He also preached that education helps in building character, increases the strength of mind, and helps us to become independent. He also said, take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. He said that you cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself. He also preached that take up one idea and make it as your life. Think of it, live on it, and dream of it. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, and every single part of your body be full of that idea and leave all other ideas alone. This is the way to success. Swami Vivekananda said the meaning of association as follows. He said that the raindrop is from the sky. If it falls in your hands, it's pure to drink. If it falls in the gutter, it is completely waste. If it falls on a hot surface, it perishes. If it falls on a lotus leaf, it shines like a pearl. If it falls on an oyster, it becomes a pearl. So here we understand that the raindrop is same, but its existence and worth depends on which it associates with. Always be associated with people who are good at heart. My dear friends, I could convey a little teachings about him in this short time. It is like a small drop from a huge ocean. His name is written in golden letters in the history of India. He was a role model not only for his country, but for the whole world. Thank you. Hari Om.
Very nice, Sanvika. You spoke very well. The message of Vivekananda was very, very clear.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, we have Purna Nagaraj Adiga. Harsh Jain.
Can I start? Hari Om everyone. I am Harsh Jain and today I am going to tell you why I love India. I love my country India because it has many different languages, it has many different religions, but we all say we are an Indian. This is called unity in diversity. It also has many epics, stories which tell us how should we live and we should help people. It includes the story of the struggle of the people of India during independence. So I'm going to tell you today about Republic Day, which is one of the 3 festivals, national festivals of India. The Republic Day is celebrated on 26th January because on this day in the year 1950, our constitution came into effect. Our constitution comprises of the laws and rules to be followed in India. We celebrate Republic Day by hoisting our national flag. Soldiers, police and school children perform parades, and the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar is given to police, soldiers, people and even school children who show their bravery and help people who are in danger. I wish you all a very happy Republic Day in advance. Thank you.
Very wonderful, Harsha. You spoke very nicely. Okay, you spoke about Republic Day and brought out the important aspects. I'm going to send
Thank you, Prabhuji.
you a private window. Okay.
Next, we have, I think Purna has joined now. So, Purna, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hari Om to all Atma Jyotis. I'm Purna from Balakrishna team. Today I would like to narrate the story of Dattatreya. Dattatreya was the son of Sage Atri and Anasuya. One day when Sage Atri had went near the river to offer his prayer, and Anusuya was cooking, Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva came in the form of rishis to check her divinity. So they came to her house and asked for food. She went in and bought some. So they told that they would not accept the food given by a person who is clothed. So she went inside worried, and uh, then she understood what to do. She prayed to the god and bought some divine water, sprinkled on the three rishis. They turned into three small babies. She took the babies inside her home and fed them with milk. And after some time, Sage Atri arrived, and she narrated the whole story to him. And by seeing her divinity, Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva showed their real forms and uh, gave her a boon. So she asked for a baby, and uh, she asked for a baby, uh, and the three babies in front of her merged into one, having with three heads and six hands. The child was named Dattatreya. Datta meaning given or presented, and Atreya because he was the son of sage Atri. He grew up and he was a very knowledge person. He was also known as the Guru of Gurus. Uh, he uh, he had a lot of followers, and he took ev- the people were following him everywhere he used to go. So to get rid of these people, one day he took Jal Samadhi for 3 days, and coming out, he was surprised to see the people still waiting for him. And so they he again went back to Jal Samadhi, and while coming out, he came with a beautiful woman and a bottle of wine. So people thought that he lost the connection with God, and they went off. So, by like this, he got solitude, and he was he had 24 gurus. They were not people, but they were the nature. For example, Mother Earth, sun, moon, bird, elephants, and etc. He also wrote. Uh, he narrated a Gita called Avadhuta Gita. Uh, Avadhuta Gita as uh, Avadhuta Gita for based on the learnings from his 24 gurus. With this, he established the way of living and living nirvaha moksha. Thank you.
Very good, Purna. You spoke very well.
Okay, now we have Namit.
Yeah, shall I start?
Right, start.
Fine. Hari Om to all the Atma Jyotis, the divine light of the self. On the occasion of Swami Vivekananda Jayanti or National Youth Day, I would like to speak about Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is the lion of India because he's the youth leader, and he has given message to youth and many more people. He has given on concentration. So I would like to start with one half of his quotation, which is "Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached." Is the lion's roar of the patriotic monk Swami Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda is teaching us about concentration. So I would like to explain this with a story from Swami Vivekananda's life itself. One day, when Swami Vivekananda went to Chicago to give the speech, after that speech, he had went to Niagara Falls. There he saw 3 people were shooting eggs. So Swami Vivekananda asked, "Could I shoot the eggs?" They saw Swami Vivekananda's dress and they told, "You, how can you shoot?" They asked. They told. Then Swami Vivekananda told, "No, I'll try." So they gave one chance. How can this man do this kind of dress? He needs to wear like how we need to. Those 3 people were wearing brown color kind of dress like military and all. So all the chances which he got, he utilized it and he shot it to the eggs. They were amazed. How did you do that? Swami Vivekananda told, you should keep your mind focused and concentrated. So we can learn that whatever we are doing, we should concentrate on that. For example, we are eating, we should eat. If we are speaking, we should speak. Like if anybody comes, we should not be watching TV and speaking to them. We should concentrate on one activity and put our 100% on that activity. So coming to the next quotation of Swami Vivekananda. Believe in yourself and the world will be at your feet. So we always get worried, anxious. So we should think that I can do that. Then what happens is, if we think we can and do that, the world will be at our feet. The world will listen to us. If we believe that we can. For example, now I am speaking here. I should have belief that I can speak. Then all of you will be listening. First I should have belief on myself that I can speak. And even Swami Vivekananda has given a lot of quotations for youth. He has told like youth is the best. Youth life is most precious life. Youth is best time. The way in which you utilize this period will decide the nature of coming years that lie ahead you. So this period of youth, you need to utilize it properly. If you utilize it properly, you'll have a good nature. You'll have a good nature. You can teach the world with that. You'll have a helping nature, and it will you'll have a very good future. So we as youth should follow Swami Vivekananda's teachings, because Swami Vivekananda is a youth leader. So this precious time which we are youth, so we should use this precious time. We have a precious time. We should use this precious time properly, and we'll have a wonderful future in our life if we utilize this precious time. Hari Om.
Very good, Namit. You spoke very well on Vivekananda. Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Is Padmaja Srinivas here? Is Adit here? So, if there are any Balakrishnas here that didn't speak, can you please tell me your names?
Anybody missed out?
So, one for everyone?
I think all Balakrishnas have spoken.
Okay. So,
okay, let us give a big round of applause to all Balakrishnas for a wonderful show. Great. Okay, all did very well. Somebody spoke on India, somebody spoke on Vivekananda, somebody spoke on Dattatreya. But I enjoyed all of your talks.
Ma'am,
Congrats.
I'm there.
Who is that?
Ma'am, Padmaja.
Padmaja, you are from Balakrishna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then you can start. We can talk.
Okay, sir. Namaste. My name is Padmaja Srinivas Prabhu. I'm 9 years old. Today I am going to tell inspirational message of Swami Vivekananda to the youth. First one, be a hero. Always say, I have no fear. Second one, take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. Third one, self, and the world will be at your feet. Fourth one, you are the creator of your own destiny. Fifth one, talk to yourself once in a day. Otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. Sixth one, arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. Your aim is yours, so don't change it for others. Eighth one, strength is life, weakness is death. Hari Om.
Very wonderful, Padmaja. You spoke very nicely. I liked your body language, the way you move your hands and voice. Very nice. Also, 1, 2, 3, 8 messages you saw talked very nice.
So everyone else spoke, right? In Balakrishna's?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all Balakrishnas, whoever is present here in this session, all Balakrishnas, so on behalf of all Balakrishnas here, I will thank our coordinator today, Sahiti. She is doing her 12th class PUC second year in Hyderabad. And in spite of her hectic schedule, she has offered to be the coordinator for today's program. Thanks a lot, Sahiti.
Wonderful, Sahiti. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And can I ask Vineet to take over the session for Vivekananda's?
Hari Om everyone. I'm Vineet Krishna. I'm in 7th grade and I'm a Shankaracharya batch I leader. So I'll be coordinating the speakers forum for the Vivekanandas. So I was watching how all of you Balakrishnas expressed yourselves. It was really amazing to see that you guys are so young and you guys know so much. That's really appreciable. So I just loved all of you, the way you expressed using your body language. That really shows a lot and shows how much effort you have put into this, shows your enthusiasm for this topic. I was actually really stunned, and I'm actually quite happy to see that so many of you have worked really hard for this. And I know all of you did a really good job, and you all worked really hard to make this. I know that, and I'm pretty sure for all of you it paid off really well, and you must be really proud of yourselves. Great job, Balakrishnas. On that note, I think if all of you Balakrishnas are done, you can leave the meeting. From now on, I'll be doing the Vivekananda's batch. If you would like to see some of them, it's all right. It's absolutely fine. You can see them. But if you want, anytime you want to leave, it's all right. So now on to the Vivekanandas. So I would just have one request. All the Vivekanandas, just raise your hand virtually. So I just know which Vivekananda.
So all Krishnas, those who want to leave, you can leave. Only Vivekanandas can stay. Those who want to watch about Vivekanandas can stay. No problem.
Okay, great. Fine. So now I'll just be briefing up the topic, as you all will already know. So the first topic is for the Vivekanandas, inspiring message of Swami Vivekananda for the youth. Number 2, greatness of the Constitution of India. Number 3, Holy Mother Sharda Devi. So these are the topics which you had been given. You can speak. You're supposed to speak for a minimum of 5 minutes. Try your best to get around that 5 minutes mark. It's a really good job if you can do that. And I think we can begin. So who is the first Vivekananda who would like to begin? I think I saw Aditya. Is he starting?
Yeah, okay, sure. So hi, my name is Aditya and my topic is the greatness of the Constitution of India. So as we all know, B.R. Ambedkar, he was the father of our Constitution, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad who was the first president of India, was elected as the president of the Constituent Assembly, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the head of the drafting committee. So the Constitution of India has also borrowed some of its features from a few other countries like Britain, Ireland, South Africa, Japan, USA, Germany, Australia, and Canada. The Constituent Assembly was established in 1946 and it met for 166 days in total, which was spread over 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. And the Indian Constitution is a handwritten document, and it's the longest handwritten document in the world. There are a total of 117,369 words in the English version of the Constitution of India. And the original document was signed by 283 members of Parliament. The original handwritten copies of the Constitution are preserved in a helium-filled case in the Library of Parliament House. So now you might be asking, why a helium case? Well, this is because the old paper actually reacts to some of the pollution and the air in the surrounding. So it is kept in a helium-filled case so that it doesn't react to its surrounding and it's preserved. And the original Constitution of India was handwritten by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada. Thank you.
Great job, Aditya. I really didn't know about the helium case part. Great job.
Very good, Aditya. You spoke very well. You have done a good research on the Constitution of India.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good. I'll send a feedback on your private window.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the next person can begin. Anyone else can just hop in and begin. Any other? I think I saw Padmaja's brother with his video on. Do you want to start, Pradyumna?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
My name is Pradyumna Srinivas Prabhu. I am 14 years old. I am studying in 9th standard. Today I am going to talk a few words about Sharda Devi. Sharda Devi was the wife and the spiritual partner of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. She was born on 22nd December 18. She was born in Jairambati to Ramchandra Mukhopadhyay and Shyam Sundari Devi. Before her birth, her parents had got a similar dream in which Ma Kali had told them that she will meet them very soon. As the saying of Ma Kali, she came in the form of Sharda Devi to Ma Kali. Once, when she was small, there was a fair in their village, Jairambati, and the aunties over there were teasing her, saying, "Whom are you going to marry?" The little child Sharda simply pointed to a man and said, "Marry that man." The aunties started to laugh, but the man turned out to be none other than Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. His name at that time was Gadadhara. He was a complete bhakta of Ma Kali. He was about 23 years old at that years old. They both got married. At that time, little girls were used to be married at a very small age, but they used to stay in their mother's house and go to their husband's house when they were grown up. When Sharda grew up and was on the way to her husband's house, she fell ill and had to rest on the way because in those days Ma Kali used to come to her and treat her. Reached the place of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he asked her a question, which was, "What do you want, worldliness or godliness?" She said, "Worldliness." Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used bhajanas, kirtanas, and Sharda used to spend her whole day in the kitchen cooking for the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa passed away, Sharda took upon the responsibilities of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and she built a school for his disciples. This was Swami Vivekananda, who was the first person from India to go to the Western countries and teach the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa there. Sharda even said that enlightened people also fall ill because the ordinary people come and take the blessings of the enlightened people, and enlightened people take away the sins of the ordinary people, so they fall ill. Similarly, Sharda also fell ill one day, and when she was near to her death, she said to her servant that if you want peace of mind, then don't find the fault with others. Learn to see your own faults. No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own. And she passed July 1920. Thank you.
Very nice, Pradyumna. You spoke very well on Mother Sharda Devi. Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'll send you the feedback on the private window, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Great job, Pradyumna. I think we can go to the next speaker.
Thank you.
Hari Om everybody, I'm Manya. We have all often spoken about Swami Vivekananda, Swami Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and the Holy Mother Sharada Devi. We've often even said that all of them are equal and their aim has always been the same. But when we look into their lives in a deeper aspect, we come to know that the path or the way they went on to spread the message of the God was different. When we look at Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he would meditate the entire day and his entire life was instilled with spirituality. His life is a really hard penance for people like us who live in a chaotic world today. But he lived it and he is a very rare person to have in today's world. He was also surrounded by people who were ready to drink the knowledge what he gave away. They were very curious and they were knowledge seekers. Whereas Swami Vivekananda, he traveled throughout the world and spread the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and the Supreme Godhead in a very simple language that everybody could understand. He made them understand the importance of spirituality in today's world. He was also surrounded by people who were open to knowledge, who were open to different teachings. He was a preacher, a scholar, a guru, and so many other roles he played in his life. Whereas Holy Mother Sharada Devi, who woke up early in the morning, and from that very moment till the time she slept, each of the action which she performed was instilling in itself the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda. What she was doing was to make us understand on how we can instill all these teachings in our day-to-day life and how we can follow them in this chaotic world. But whereas she was surrounded by people with a variety of characters. Some were with childlike hearts, who were very sincere and honest and very good, whereas some were greedy. Some had just come to test whether she had any knowledge after all, and some were open to the knowledge which she provided with the way she spread the spirituality around them. This made it, this was very difficult to live with those kind of people, but that made no difference to Ma Sharada Devi, who looked at all of them as her own children and cooked for them each and every day with love and compassion and a lot of care. This we can observe in a story. I'm going to narrate to you now. There was once a dacoit or a thief who often heard about Ma Sharada Devi. So once he made up his mind, today I'm going to meet this Holy Mother. Let me see what exactly is she? Why is she so famous, or why is she such a known personality? He then went to her and he just had a small conversation with her, and that changed his life. That very small time which he spent with her made a deep change in his heart. And then he slowly started transforming the way he led his life. But Ma Sharada Devi completely accepted him as her children from the very beginning. But the other volunteers there couldn't do that because they just couldn't tolerate a thief, and they felt it wrong to be able to do any service to him. And this was once observed by Ma Sharada Devi. And that's when she lovingly said, "My children, it is not the work that a person does. It is about just that he is the child of the Supreme Godhead himself. We are all his children and we must treat each and every child equally. And now that he has transformed, is just another added quality, but even if he hadn't transformed and remained as a thief, it is our duty to treat him equally, because we are all merely instruments to God, and we are all his puppets, and it is what he makes us do that we do in our everyday life." But there is yet another story which says on how much importance which Ma Sharada Devi gives to regularity and about the importance of doing prayers every day. Once Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's nephew wanted to spend 3 days with Ma Sharada Devi. That's when Ma Sharada Devi asks Shibhuji about who would do the puja in the temples if he would come here and spend time with Ma Sharada Devi in the ashram for 3 days, 3 whole days. So that's when he replies, like, I have completed the puja for all the 3 days today, and I've completed everything, so nothing can disturb me for the next 3 days. That's when she says, laughs and says actually about that these kind of things doesn't work this way. It is very necessary and important for us to pray each and every day, because we cannot eat our food for the next 3 days in just one time. We cannot sleep for the next 3 years or so. In the same way, it is important for us to pray each and every day, because that completes our day, or something will be missing in each and every day. That is the way we connect to God, seek His blessings, and make our day fruitful. This shows how important it is for us to devote some time to God, whether it is just 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or even an hour. But it is very important to be regular and to keep it in our mind what may ever come. But today, the first thing I'm going to do is to pray. Today, the first thing I'm going to do is to complete my puja. If I set a goal today, every day I'm going to say 3 Bhagavad Gita shlokas, then it is my duty to complete that. And it is very much necessary for our survival, more than survival, to make our day worthwhile. It is very important for us to keep our everyday puja. And each and every action which Ma Sharada Devi performed gives us a message entirely, which makes our life unique and fruitful if we follow them all. Hari Om everybody, do follow the messages of Ma Sharada Devi to make your life fruitful and to connect to God. Thank you.
Very good, Manya. You spoke on Sharda Devi, but you covered Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda also. Very nice.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Great job, Manya. You really provided us with a lot of information and how we can set our goals, and that we should not just lie to ourselves and just leave those goals in the middle. We should follow them, do not just make them. Great job. And I think the next speaker could begin. I think Harsh, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah,
Harsh,
okay.
Jain.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Harshal, would you like to go, or would Harsh like to go? I think Harshal can go ahead. She was already unmuted.
Okay. Namaste, my name is Harshal Karkera, and today I'm going to speak about Swami Vivekananda's inspiring message for youth. So, Swami Vivekananda was a monk, a powerful orator, and also a patriot, but he is more well known for being a youth icon. He was born as Narendranath Datta on January 12, 1863. And the desire to see God face to face brought him to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who told him that as one could see him, one could also see God in the same form. Though skeptic at first, Swami Vivekananda became the most dedicated disciple of Sri Ramakrishna mission, of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and he also established the Ramakrishna Mutt. He visited America to address the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. It was this speech that made him incredibly famous, and though he has addressed many people in many other places, this speech of his is one of the most well known and most famous. In this speech, he explains that the God is like one big sea, and all other religions are like rivers which ultimately lead into the sea.
It was very well received by Americans and all of the people of the world as well as Indians, and he received a hero's welcome back in India. Swami Vivekananda sincerely believed that youth were the future of the country. And two quotes that summarize his message for youth are: "What I want is muscles of iron, nerves of steel, and inside which dwells a mind made of the same material as that of a thunderbolt. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. Do not believe that you are half crazy lunatics, as most of you do nowadays. You can do anything and everything without even the guidance of anyone. Stand up and express the divinity within you." Swami Vivekananda himself said that the main principle of his teachings was to preach unto mankind their inherent divinity and how to manifest it in each and every moment of their life. Some of his greatest quotes are: "You cannot believe in God until you believe in yourself. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. They alone live who live for others. All the powers in the universe are already ours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes and cry that it is dark." Thank you.
Very, very nice, Harshal. You spoke very well on Swami Vivekananda. Wonderful.
Amazing. Like the quotes which you gave were really, even if I had researched, I was researching, I just couldn't find the ones that you brought up. And some of them really made me feel that we can do something. And his quotes, Vivekananda's quotes, are amazing, and you found the right ones. Actually, all of them are right. Great job.
Thank you.
Could the next speaker begin? I think Harsh was supposed to do present next, so Harsh can go ahead. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't see Harsh right now. Anyone else who wants? I think others who haven't presented yet can just jump in.
Mihir is there, I think.
Yeah, I see Mihir's name also.
I am actually.
Hello.
One
Vineet, I think Harsh Jain has spoke for Balakrishna, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't see his name here.
No, he already spoke in Balakrishna. He's there in the session, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I think he would have spoke. Sorry.
Mihir or Satvik Shastri?
I'll go.
Mihir, are you going to speak? Mihir, Beda, and Satvik Shastri. Yeah, Satvik Shastri, you want to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, start.
Hari Om. My name is Satvik. Today I'm going to talk about Swami Vivekananda's message to the youth. Swami Vivekananda was the greatest youth icon ever to be produced by India, one who has inspired millions of youth across the world. Ever since his Chicago speech in 1893, he has been a beacon of Indian spiritualism and philosophy in the West, and has been a perennial source of inspiration for the youth. His ideas can be understood by his fourfold mantra for leading a meaningful life: physical, social, intellectual, and spiritual quest. By the physical quest, he meant taking care of the body. By the social quest, he meant mitigating social suffering. By the intellectual quest, he meant the pursuit and spreading of knowledge. And by the spiritual quest, he meant the life of dhyana and sadhana. He understood that if we are to lead a meaningful life, then we have to be strong, we have to be mentally and physically fit, we have to be brave, and we have to be fearless. He said that strength is life, weakness is death. He said that if we persevere, then anything and everything is possible. As one of his most famous quotes goes, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. What he wanted from the youth was muscles of iron and nerves of steel. He encouraged the youth to help the society, not just for the betterment of the society, but for their individual growth. He urged them to serve the God in man and to serve Mother India, to push all other gods out of their minds and to serve India and the society. This inspired the youth and made them stand up and fight for their freedom and for the freedom of their country, which led to the independence of India. He encouraged physical fitness and social understanding, but he also urged the youth to increase their intellectual ability so that they can understand both the worlds. He emphasized on education for everybody. He said that education which does not equip a man to stand up on his own two legs and equip him for the struggle of life is not worthy to be called education. He said that education should inspire in everybody a spirit of philanthropy, a strength of character, and the courage of a lion. He admired the West, but knew that there was a lot that we could learn from our own philosophy. He said that the ideals of the West would benefit greatly from the Indian philosophy and spiritualism. He urged the youth to follow a life where they believed in one high ideal, a higher state. He called for the renovation of India with the spirit of self-sacrifice and selfless service. Swami Vivekananda's message to the youth is still relevant today, almost 130 years after his original speech. It is up to us now, the youth, to follow the path that Swami Vivekananda has shown and to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Very nice, Satvik. You spoke very well on the message of Swami Vivekananda. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Could you just give me a minute? I think the next speaker could just get ready. I would need to check something.
Who is going to speak next? Mihir?
The next speaker could just get ready and could switch on their videos. Who would like to speak next?
Mihir, Medha?
Yes, sir, I'll start.
Who is speaking?
Yeah, you could go ahead and switch on your video.
It's Medha, sir.
Yeah, Medha. You go ahead, Medha.
One second. Yeah, am I visible?
Yes.
Yeah, Hari Om all Atma Jyotis. This is Medha. So I would like to talk on topic Holy Mother Sharda Devi. So Sharda Devi was born on 22nd December 1853. So I would like to tell some stories on her. Sharda Devi, or we call her Ma, she was married when she was 5 years to Ramakrishna when he was 24 years. She had spirituality in her whole lifetime. She always used to believe in God and have always spiritual thinking in everything, whatever she held. Her husband Ramakrishna always saw Devi Kali in her and prayed to her every day. When Ramakrishna passed away, when he passed away, Ramakrishna had come once in a dream and told that now onwards everybody would call her Ma, and everybody, all his disciples, would take care of her. So from that day, she started helping all the relatives, fed monks, and she cooked food for everybody. Vivekananda was one of her devotees. He was a disciple of Holy Mother Sharda Devi as well as Ramakrishna. We also know, like, if the spirituality starts becomes more, we start believing the greater ones instead of taking the normal lesser ones. So in this, I can tell, like, we first believe Vivekananda, and now we believe like Ramakrishna, and then we believe on, like, now Holy Mother Sharda Devi. So it keeps on changing on the level which we have trust. Even Sharda Devi always protected people. Once a thief had come to her, but she did not do anything or did not hurt, neither scolded the thief. She told Vivekananda to find a job for him so that he could go in the right path and go to the success. We know that Sharda Devi also helps us to, also help people to protect themselves and learn good teachings. We also know she also know many mantras in her life, and she gave too much jnana to everybody. So one day, Brahmananda Swami, near Brahmananda Swami, 3 people had come to give away all their sin on him. He rejected them as he couldn't take all the sin which they had, because they had done a lot of karma in their life. So he told them to go to Ma Sharda Devi. When they went to her, she denied 3 times. So the next time she accepted, and she took all the sins which was on which was on them. So when they were returning, the same Swami asked, "Did Sharda Ma take all the sins from your body?" And they told yes. He told the reason why he couldn't take it, because if he would have taken it, he would have become Basma and where he was standing itself. So he couldn't take all the sins which was created by which was there in their body. So in next one, and there's one of the reason, like, why Ramakrishna passed away due to cancer. This it could be a truth, like, he passed away because he also take all the sins karma which was done by the people. So when people take more number of sins, their lifetime they suffer a lot. So because as he took so many sins from others, he could have died because of that, and which caused the disease, or which caused the cancer in him. We also know that she was a very good guide for all the people, and Chandra was one of her student, with one of her favorite student. So she also fed him prasada, and she used to respect him a lot. Even there was a saying, he also used to call her Ma, and he also asked this question, that why all of them used to call Sharda Devi as Ma. She told, and he also asked why, are you a mother for all the people? She told, yes, I am mother for all the the trees, the animals, human beings, saints, etc. In this we know, love God as human beings, it is helpful. If you love human as human, it is if you will attain sufferings. So take the name of God again and again till you attain the desire of your life, and tell the mantras again and again till you attain the peace of mind. Now, peace of mind. And this was also Sharda Devi's Ma's ashram was also one of the important cause for Swadeshi movement. I would like to conclude by telling one of her teachings which I took in my life: taking care of everyone without any expectations. This is how I like to conclude. Hari Om. Thank you.
Very nice, Medha. You brought out the character of Mother Sharda, Holy Mother Sharda, beautifully.
Thank you, sir.
Great job. I did not know that it actually helped in the Swadeshi movement. I was not aware of that. You gave out some really interesting facts, and obviously there are so many interesting things about Sharada Devi, and you just brought them out. So The next speaker would be I think the next speaker can start. Who would like to go on next?
Mihir? Mihir, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mihir, you can start. You spoke.
Brothers and sisters of the I Vivekananda batch. I am Mihir. My pranams to all of you. Today, I will share the inspiring message that Swami Vivekananda gave for the youth of the nation. His message was, if you think yourself weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be. It means that we will be what we think we are, and that we must believe in ourselves to be strong. He also said, seek for the highest, aim for that highest, and you shall reach the highest. Vivekananda conveyed his messages directly to the nation, especially towards the youth. He broke through the shackles of creed and caste and spoke of a language of universal brotherhood. What he said captured the great importance of his ideas and ideals among the youth of our nation. He personified the eternal energy of the youth and the restless quest for truth. It is entirely fitting that 12th January, the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, is observed as National Youth Day to rekindle the eternal message of this great patriot and son of India. He once said, the education which does not help the common mass of people to equip themselves for the struggle of life, which does not bring out the strength of character, a spirit of philanthropy, and the courage of a lion, is it worth the name? Real education is that which enables one to stand on one's own legs. For him, education meant spiritual learning that built character and instilled humane values in students. According to Swami Vivekananda, teach yourselves, teach everyone his real nature, call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakens. Power will come, glory will come, goodness will come, purity will come, and everything that is excellent will come when this sleeping soul is roused to self-conscious activity. I believe that we should implement the values that Swami Vivekananda had for our country. I will follow his principles and values in my life too, and I feel that we all should do it for the good of our country. Hari Om. Thank you.
Mihir is wonderful, very nice, nicely spoken. I'll give feedback to you on my your private window, okay?
I really liked how you began with your speech. I liked your creativity. It really gave us a feeling of his speech which he gave in Chicago. I wish there is a category for creativity that would deserve 6 out of 5. Great job, Mihir. I like the way you thought out of the box. It really set a tone to begin your speech. They usually say the first impression is the best impression, and that's what it showed. That's what I felt when I first saw that. First saw you beginning with good, like greeting all of us as brothers and sisters of the elite team. Appreciate it, really appreciate it. Great job.
I think last speaker is Srinivas. Srinivas, are you there?
Srinivas, could you begin?
I think if Srinivas is not there, we have completed Vivekananda batch.
I think Srinivas is there. I see a Srinivas Shivakumar, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think Srinivas, can you hear us? Just is there a chat? Just put it in the chat if you can hear us. Otherwise,
Okay, we'll conclude.
yeah, I think we would conclude.
Okay.
So I really like the way all of you presented your topic. Each one of you found different ways to explain the topic. Each one of you were very unique, and each one of you had creativity, which was actually quite different from. There is a difference from each one of you rather than what I would have expected. I found different ways to start off a speech. I found different ways to build a speech, and all of your speeches were very different from each other. And I am pretty sure all of you would have learned several things, maybe from yourself speaking there, you learning from yourself, and also watching others speak. All in all, this was a very fruitful session where all of us learned new things. I learned quite a few things, and I would like to thank Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity. Not to forget Gayatri ji, who's always working ever so hard in the background. Last but not least, our own participants who are working, who tried their best all these days to make sure that they get all of their presentation, whatever they need for the presentation on time. Kudos to all of you. And I hope you guys come to other sessions like this and keep improving and become legendary speakers. Thank you.
So, a wonderful coordination of the session, Vineet. You did a very good job. Your appreciation of the people who spoke was very nice. And each of you speakers did a very good job. I enjoyed all the speeches. I'm very happy that you have come to this level of maturity. Keep improving, keep yourself as a standard, and next time you improve yourself. We are not competing with somebody, we have to compete with ourselves. So thanks to Gayatri ji and Ashwini for making this happen. Let us give a big round of applause to all the participants and all the people who have coordinated.
Also, not to forget the ones even after they finished their Balakrishna thing, they still stayed back to keep learning, and their quest for learning never stopped. Purnima ji, we also would like to thank you for being here. Guruji, you for being the chief guest, or you're there all the time. So thank you for being with us all this and helping us in this. And thanks to everyone, every single person in this meeting. Everyone has spared time to join us over here. And thank you again.
Let us close with a prayer. Asatoma.
Asatoma.
Sadgamaya.
Sadgamaya.
Tamasoma.
Tamasoma.
Jyotirgamaya.
Jyotirgamaya.
Mrityorma.
Mrityorma.
Amritam gamaya.
Amritam gamaya.
Om.
Om.
Shanti.
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 Shantihi.
Shantihi.
Purnamadaha.
Purnamadaha.
Purnamidam.
Purnamidam.
Purnat.
Purnat.
Purnamuduchyate.
Purnamudachyate.
Purnasya.
Purnasya.
Purnamadaya. Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Good
Good
night,
night,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.